Gonna try to imitate this Age of Sigmar base from Warhammer to kind of represent the design I want to go for, utilizing this brick layout. Get some gravel and rocks in here. Now the Legion basing, for these units is obviously a lot smaller, so trying to incorporate stairs on this may or may not happen. I was thinking maybe just doing the brick layering and maybe throw a couple pieces of rocks in there and see how it goes. But this is the general idea that I'd like to do. So let's go ahead and look over the materials we're going to use. So you're going to need some cork, and for the different brick layering you can pick up some of this rubber foam here. Comes in a bunch of different colors for really cheap at the craft store. Easy to cut with your hobby knife. So we're going to do all of the bases at once for the entire Shadow Collective box and glue the models on as the first step, and then we will prime them after that. It doesn't have to be perfect, we're going to make it look rough, but let's see here. I feel like that's a good width. We can fit a couple bricks in there. And I am cutting on a hobby mat underneath this black paper, so don't worry, I'm not cutting into my table. I did have to change my X-Acto blade to a new sharper one. It's working really well. Not sure how many strips I'm going to need, but I do have quite a bit of bases, but they are small. Okay, let's try that for the start. Move that aside and see if I can cut all these here at once. Make it easy on myself. Maybe. Alright, that worked pretty good. Let's try that again. Go ahead and time-lapse this. just finished cutting these up. Got a bunch of different sizes. The majority of them are the same size. Kind of got down to the wire, didn't want to hold it and cut my fingers at all, so I'm just going to slide those aside. I don't need those. But I feel like these turned out pretty good. Got a variety of different sizes. We'll just put them all over here. I think that might be enough for all of our bases, but we'll see. We can cut more if we need to. Let's go ahead and grab our base and just kind of see what we can do here. Grab your glue. Just going to apply some glue on the base on one half. And just kind of stack it on here. Get my effect. Kind of a crisscross pattern here. We get a little bit of a larger one here for this section. And it's okay if it overlaps a little bit. You can cut it when we're done. Just want to get the majority of them on here. It's okay if there's gaps. And just kind of have fun with it. Space them out a little bit. Definitely don't want to cut around the edges until it's completely dry and glued on there. So that looks pretty cool. Let's turn it around here and add a little bit more glue on this side now. Just like a mason worker, I guess. Remember, it's ruined, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I've said it a couple times now, but just have fun with it. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this. If we look back at our guide here, you know, some of the areas I don't have completely covered. We put gravel in and maybe a bit of cork. So let's grab some of our cork here. Let's take a little chunk off. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just stick that right here. Maybe we can have another little one on this side. That seems appropriate. And then the other spots, put some sand in. But first, let's go ahead and get a model real quick. Okay, I've got our model that we're going to put on. Let's put on her here. Whoop. Move that aside. Let's see here. What side would we like her on? Maybe here? Just kind of hold her there for a moment. And then after this, when it dries here in a moment, we're going to go ahead and use some fine ballast and coarse ballast from Woodland Scenics. Try and get some of the gravelly look. You don't have to use this specific one. You can use, you know, some sand or whatever you want from outside or any other brand, just to make it look, you know, old and ruiny. Help fill in the cracks and crevices so it doesn't look as like a cobbled road, brand new or something. Okay, so she's on there now. I like how it's looking. If you want her to lean back a little bit more, hold her back. Okay. Let's apply a little bit more glue to the areas we want that rock to fall on. It doesn't have to be perfect, just dab a little bit here and there. And grab like a little bit of a Tupperware here. We'll start with the finer sand. Just kind of pour it on. It's okay if you get a lot on. You can pour it back into the bottle when we're done. Tip up the model upside down. You can tap on the base. There we are. That's pretty cool looking. And if you get any on the rim of your base, you know, you can wipe it down. You want to keep that smooth looking. And now just kind of looking at it, I feel like I don't really want to add the coarse. I don't want to lose too much of the texture. I really like how this is turning out. So then we got our cork here and our fine sand, and we still have some of the texture of the bricks of the road, the ruins. And the reason why I glued the model on first is because, you know, what if I wanted to get a little bit transition from the base to the model, make sure it looks like she's not just standing on a base that we created. And this kind of ties it in well. So we're going to let that dry before I kind of trim around the edges of the base. We're going to go ahead and do a time lapse and do our other models. After completing all the models, that's what they look like after they've been dried. Pretty cool. It'll look even better when it's get primed. Really brings them all together. Let's go ahead and shave the excess off now. Okay, this one is good now. We'll do this for the rest of the models in the Army. Another time lapse. Okay, these models are now complete for their bases and ready to be primed. Really like how it turned out. Kind of gets the whole ruined effect really well. With the flight stands, I like to wrap tape around and then prime it, and then prime the individual models separately, and then glue them on last after painting. Yeah, the bases is pretty cool. This basing technique takes a lot more time than some of my previous videos, but I think the result is worth it. we'll get these primed and we'll start painting these models. Stay tuned.